Hi, this is Paul, Golden Gate Enterprises. We are at another cantilever deck project. We have a typical cantilever deck that has a lot of dry rot problems with it. All the deck boards have to come up, and the classic problem of rot taking place at the top of the joist is what's happening here, and we're having to do a very careful operation of redoing this so we don't have to end up replacing the entire deck structure. And when you look at cantilever decks, people frequently just ignore the problems with these way too long, and then they end up with very, very expensive problems. And Golden Gate Enterprises, we are experts in repairing, replacing, fixing cantilever deck structures, as well as all types of deck structures. We do dry rot and structural repairs and all the operations that are associated with them, and frequently it's a combination of techniques in here. So by way of example, here we've gotten into dry rot that has gotten into one of the joists where it has to be replaced. And when you get into replacing a cantilever joist, you end up typically having to go back in 2 feet into the house for every 2 feet that for every 1 foot that the joist is sticking out. So these are about 3 to 4 feet out. So to replace a joist, once we cut it off, we got to go back in basically 8 feet and tie it in with an engineered detail and the right engineered screws and bolts and the likes. And the other thing is that there are techniques to repair what the typical damage is, which is rot on top of the joist that typically goes down 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 of an inch, maybe even a full inch. And we have techniques to deal with that type of rot without having to replace the whole joist, because typically the rot is on the exterior of the cantilever joist because the deck boards that sat on top of it allowed water to basically get trapped on the horizontal surface. So with that said, this is the type of operations that we do, and we do this all around the San Francisco Bay Area. We get called in for our expertise. Here in this particular case, what happened is this was let go way too long, and you can see the damage in the framing. And what we ended up with is, because of moisture problems, ended up with termite and looks like beetle damage here, and you can tell that right there because of the round beetle holes. And that's classic damage. Well, right here you can see the termite tubes that are in there, and that comes as a result of all the water and moisture damage, and the source of it was the leaks at the cantilever deck that were never sealed up properly. And the other thing I will mention to you that we do frequently, or let me rephrase that, we do as a matter of practice, when we put these decks back together, we have a special waterproofing material that we put back on top of the joist, so it pretty much prevents forever any rot happening at the top of the joist. Because today when you build deck structures, you would just never, not put the flashing down, or let me rephrase that, we would never do that, even if it's pressure treated wood, because all these decks end up rotting out at the same place, the top of the joist and the top of the girder. So anyway, this is all part of the repair. And you can see the amount of damage that, again, is here. This whole header is rotted out on top of the door here, and looks like it goes into this whole building. And there's a lot of rot up on the side of the building here. We'll take a look at it here, get a little better view. I'll stay out of the way there, but all of this has been replaced, all of the structural repairs that are taking place in there due to the rot and the damage. Okay, so this is Paul, Golden Gate Enterprises, and we will keep you posted as we continue with our project. And this happens to be a fourplex project here that we're working on, but we do these for both residential and commercial structures. Okay, and as necessary, we handle any plans, permits, and engineering. Okay, thank you very much. Paul Gordon, Golden Gate Enterprises, your San Francisco Bay Area general contractor, specializing in deck repairs, cantilever decks, dry rot, and structural repairs. Thank you.